You are now tuned in to your number one radio station.
We interrupt this program for a special report by WKMU.
Staten Island, New York.
This is 87.9 WKMU, and as always, I'm Sky.
I'm Blue. That was a real close one last week, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it got pretty intense there for a second.
Yeah.
So we decided to go on a little road trip, and actually we stopped by this really great place. It's called Billy Bob's and Nina's. It's over on, we were going through US 45 South. And yeah, it was pretty good. If you're in the area, check it out.
Billy Bob.
Billy Bob and
Billy Bob.
Nina's. And so we got a couple strange stories coming up ahead, so stay tuned. And now the strange news. I actually found out recently that there are some, what do they call them, theorists, who are saying that the life started right after the Big Bang, like seconds. Which is weird because life on Earth has only been around for 4 billion years. And that's 13 billion years that the whole universe has been together. So they're saying that there's a possibility that there's so much energy and things moving around that, complex structures could come out. And their whole life cycle would be like maybe like a second or two. And they would that's their existence. And it was just so much energy, like it couldn't sustain the life. So it's like a little bit more proof, like not proof, there's just a theory that there was life out there somewhere. It just died off.
But what killed it? Like why?
The energy, the
from like the sun
mass,
or
the gravity, the fires, like because this is the Big Bang, like everything's shooting outwards. It's a huge explosion.
Yeah.
And there's so much connection and like rubbing against each other.
Yeah.
They believe that it was possible to happen.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought we start off that. I just like, I like these weird stories. I can't help it. I don't know what it is with me.
I don't know why, but like when you say things like 13 billion years ago, it's like, how do we even know this? Like, it's just weird.
They're measuring the distance of where the universe is where they believe the universe started. And like they get like a time frame from like that. I think,
That's
anyway.
so weird.
I don't know how they do that either. Cameras, freaking, what are those called?
Telescopes.
Yeah, telescopes. I had one of those. I used to love those. I want to get one, yeah, because there's so many stars. I remember you telling me a couple.
I'm really surprised we don't have
ago.
one. I want to get binoculars too and go bird watching. I really want to do that.
I want to get binoculars and see that tube belt.
Vulture?
No, the
Oh.
tube belt that fell from space.
Oh.
It's gone soon. Get out there and see it, people.
Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna see it with binoculars or a simple telescope. We're gonna need to get like a real big, fancy one.
No, they said you could get regular old binoculars and you can actually see it.
Shut up! That is crazy.
Yeah.
We need to do that like tomorrow.
Yeah, everyone, just go look. Where can I see belt in my area at what time and see where it floats
We're gonna
over
get
you.
one tomorrow.
Everyone send their pictures to us at What Keeps Me Up SI on Twitter. You can also send them to Blue at Facebook. She's under Blue Sky, is it?
Yeah, I guess you could see the link
BLU?
on if you go to Podbean, WKMU.podbean.com, and you'll see all our links there, and all the places you can listen to us.
So that brings us to our next news stories, and it's a little spacey, right?
Yeah. So Saturn, you guys know, is what is it, the 6th planet, I think, and
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Wait, no, that's the math one. my very educated mother just served us 9
pizzas.
Well, no, because Blue's not 1 no more. It was pickles for us, but I guess just served us nachos. So yeah, that's what was it? My mother just. No, I might have to edit this. My very educated mother just 6. Yep, number 6.
Yeah, so
Wait, that's Jupiter. Never mind. 7.
the 7th planet, you all know, has a ring around it, but in about a year and a little over a year, you won't be able to see that ring anymore. It'll be there, but
You just can't see it.
yeah, it'll feel like it disappeared. And I found that to be really interesting.
Because it's like rotating on an axis,
Yeah,
right?
it'll be twisted to 0 on the axis, I guess. It'll be on 0, and in that, our perspective of that angle will be the ring would be 300 feet wide at this angle that we'll see in 2025.
Yeah, basically it's like looking at a piece of paper, and if you look at the front, it looks big and wide, but if you look at it from the side, it becomes thin enough where, like, enough distance, it looks like it disappeared.
Yeah.
So that's
I find that to
basically-
be really fascinating.
Yeah, that's weird. Like,
I don't
because
know why.
I know the rings are eventually going to go away. So this is like our first kind of look into how it's going to look without
Yeah,
the
it's really
rings.
bugged out that it probably would go away because that ring is only made of like rock and debris, and like they think that there's like asteroid pieces made that compose that ring and stuff. And that ring actually it goes from 43,000 feet. I'm sorry. It's 43,000 miles to about 87,000 miles is how wide the rings are from
That's
like
like-
planet to like the
Yeah, that's like-
atmosphere.
I feel like that's bigger than like America.
I don't know. Oh yeah, actually you're right. It's like 30 Earths or something like that. Something crazy like that.
So I wanted to go over into it's a little weirder. Over in Hawaii, there's some more news, but apparently, and I want to say this name right, workers at Kalia Pond National Wildlife Refuge has noticed that on October 30th, there's a pond there that turned pink. And I thought it was like a Barbie stunt, like someone saw Barbie and was like, oh, it was great, or hated it, and they like dyed the water pink.
Yeah.
But apparently they thought it was algae, like an algae bloom.
Uh-huh.
And when the algae blooms, it could be harmful to the wildlife in the pond. But they found out that it's actually not that. While they don't know exactly what it is, they think it's an organism called halobacteria. It's a single-celled organism that lives in high concentrated salt water. And apparently, they say that we shouldn't drink it or stay out the water. But the wildlife in the pond is fine, and nothing's happening to them. So it's just really weird. Like, they don't even know what's going on. People have been there for 70 years, and they never seen it turn a color like this.
It is really weird and strange for something like that to happen.
Imagine, like, just, like, sipping some pink water. You think it's pink sauce?
Or or like hibiscus tea.
Ew. I don't think so.
It's not bad. But yeah, that actually was funny you talk about pink, things turning pink. In like the UK and now in some parts of the US where the sky is pink. Like there's like these pink or purplish like streams, kind of like northern lights, like the Aurora Borealis, how that one's green, that's appearing pink in certain parts of the world. And it's really crazy because I looked it up, like, why is this even happening? And like it made me, I went on a deep dive, and it's due to coronal mass ejections.
Ooh, which we're so scared about it, because that could knock off
Yeah.
our internet, send us back to the dark ages.
We, some of our listeners might have not even been there in the beginning, but we did a little video about coronal mass ejections. It's basically like the sun spits out these like plasma balls, or sometimes these gas balls that are really, really fucking hot. And so
Yeah, there was actually a video, I think it was a year ago, where the sun, it looked like a spaceship was fueling up and shooting off. But that was actually a coronal mass ejection getting shot out.
yeah, it just looks like lava being thrown out of the sun.
These things are so
Like
powerful
fire.
that Mars actually got stopped getting hit by the winds, solar winds,
Uh-huh.
and its atmosphere came back like 60 times as much as it was before. I forget the exact number, but it got bigger. It wasn't much to begin with, but it's already thickened up. But like now that the storm winds are coming back through again, it's like it basically washed it away. So these things are like, they're powerful. They could push away atmospheres.
Yeah, that was kind of what was happening with us with the pink purple thing or whatever. It's like all this energy was being like blown towards us, and like a lot of the coronal mass ejections, a lot of the plasma was coming into our atmosphere, and there was like friction being caused, and then the friction was releasing gas that ended up being this purple pink stream.
That's so
it's
cool.
basically all this like magnetic energy from the sun causing these like lights. That's how that's what the deal is with the northern lights too.
Yeah, like everything gets pretty much pointed towards the north and south poles.
Yep.
And they
Yep.
build there, and the gases build up, and all the other stuff. They come together and make this beautiful sky.
Yeah, and then like a little fun fact and a kind of weird fact, they named the purple streams or whatever that you see, they named it Steve. And it stands for, yeah, I don't even know, but it stands for Strong Thermal Emission Velocity Enhancement.
Well, I guess that's why they named it Steve. Like it's a one.
Well, they named it Steve originally off something else, like a
and they just
hedgehog
added
or
it-
something.
Steve? No, that's Sonic.
Yeah, no, right, but I'm not.
Nah, I know.
It's something else.
I know.
I don't know. We
I'm
only
just being
know about
silly.
like American stuff, I guess. But
What's you're saying?
I
Steve
don't
the
know. They had
Hedgehog
named it
is
Steve.
is a British thing.
Wait,
Max-
Sonic the Hedgehog is named Steve.
No. His name
Okay,
is
so I'm
Sonic.
talking about
I
it's
know
like a
that-
character. They
That's what I'm
named
saying.
it off
Like
a character.
I'm
named
asking
Steve.
Max if he knows of this Steve the Hedgehog to hit us up on Twitter.
I don't think it's Hedgehog. I forget what it is, but it was originally named off a character, and then they changed it to now being an acronym.
Everyone who doesn't know, Max is actually co-host of Bitches with Beard podcast. He talks about what's going on in the neighborhood. We haven't talked much lately, but he's still in our hearts. I hope he had a good holiday. It's been hectic over here, but hit us up. Let us know. Do you know of this Steve Hedgehog or Steve Porcupine or whatever it could be?
I don't know why you're making fun of it.
Because I think it's cute. I make
Okay.
fun of things I think is cute.
No, because you make me feel like now I have to look it up to see exactly what it is.
Nah.
No, I'm gonna look it up.
So Blue actually looked it up, and what did it have to say?
The name Steve, they named this purple lights in the sky. They named it Steve because of there's movie called Over the Hedge. Apparently, there's a scene in that movie where they see something that they don't know what it is or what it's called. They're like, well, let's give it a name. And then they're like, let's name it Steve. They're like, yeah, I'm not afraid of Steve. Like, that sounds like a nice name. Like,
Yeah, I think it was said by a
like
hyperactive
if it has
squirrel.
a name, I won't be afraid of it or something like that. And so they named it Steve. Like, the internet named it Steve. And then later on, scientists took the Steve and made it like an acronym. And like, so they made it sciencey. The internet gave it a name, and then
So they took
scientists
over then
adopted it. Yeah.
And then gave words to the letters.
Yeah, really weird. Strong thermal emission velocity enhancement. But if you think about it and really like listen to it slowly, strong thermal emission velocity enhancement. It really explains like what it is. It's like this
Yeah.
powerful ejection that's hot, and there's speed, and it enhances the air.
And then the last story we both kind of got into.
Yeah, I think it's both fun. It's funny that we both looked up stuff about the Loch Ness monster and stumbled upon this article and thought that it was good enough to look more research on.
Yeah, we were talking about this before the show, and I'm thinking we're talking about two different things because I guess our information's a little different.
Yeah.
So let's cover both sides. We'll start with yours.
Yeah, so scientists found a way to collect DNA. They basically tested the water where the Loch Ness monster is mostly sighted. Like, there's a lot of sightings by people in this area. Like, most recently, this couple thought they spotted a Loch Ness monster. So scientists went and took DNA. They call it eDNA. So it's called environmental DNA. And they basically test like skin excrements or whatever that they found in the water. And they're like trying to see like what the Loch Ness monster is made of, like what the DNA looks like. And what they found was that two types of algae in the water, basically.
See, that's strange because the one I found said that they found a huge amount of eel DNA,
Yeah.
like skin cells and stuff like that, flakes, excrement, like you were
Right.
saying. So I'm not sure, but
I think I did hear something about an eel in one of my researches, but
so what that could
I think it could be both.
well, it could also mean two things. It could also be like this bunch of little eels or one giant eel. And if it's a giant eel, then it would explain why people see Nelly.
Yeah.
It's this thing that's coming out of the water to the rim, and it kind of looks big and scary, so it looks like a monster. And at this whole time, it could be an eel. But they say it's very unlikely that it's a giant eel. They think it's just a bunch of little ones. But if there was a bunch of little ones, wouldn't somebody have caught one already? And
But
known
why
that
were
they? There?
Why do they move that way? Where it's like two humps and then like a head? Like that's what people say. That's the signature Loch Ness monster look.
I feel like
And so,
in the water
you know-
when they swim, it's like S turns.
Yeah.
So maybe they're seeing it from an angle, so it looks like it's going like this, like on the side, like the same thing with the paper. Like, just from that angle, it looks like it's coming out the water, maybe.
Maybe they do move like up and down, in and out of the water, like dolphins and stuff like that.
Yeah, possible.
You know, like what else jumps out? Like whales jump out the water.
Yeah, and those are huge. Maybe but yeah, it's funny because the eels don't look like something that would jump out of water. But I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I don't even know
I
what
don't
kind of
know
eels
either.
these are. Maybe they have fins that they have special fins and they can just fly out a little bit. Well, who knows? You know, people just put pictures to things that they see. If they can't understand what it is,
That's
like if
true.
you see something you don't know what it is, you look through your own brain for past experiences that you can say, "Oh, well, that's probably a snake," and it really wasn't a snake. It was an eel.
That's true. And then it's hard to see anything else once you've already put it in your brain that this is what it is. You know what I mean? Like there's this picture on the internet going around of this dog, and the dog, his face looks mad fucked up. But then if you look, like you have to like look at the ear and then look at the rest of the dog, then you start
yeah, I
to
saw
see that it's a
too.
dog. It's like,
I
oh
saw
shit.
it right away.
I
The dog
couldn't
was
see
It was
it.
tilted to like this.
And then when they showed me, like when people, you know, you read the comments and they show you how to see it, I saw it, and then later on I couldn't see it anymore. I can't see it again. That was funny.
Well, speaking of animals, we were traveling around, you know, on the run because, you know, they're looking for us. And we stumbled upon this story. It's called the Enfield Monster. And this is something that's been going around since 1873. Have you heard of anything about the Enfield Monster? What do you know about the Enfield Monster?
Just what you know, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, you know a lot then. Do you know when it happened?
I don't know. Are you supposed to whisper it to me?
Yeah, I know. I got you. So it's April 25th, 1973, in Enfield, Illinois. A man named Henry McDaniel and his wife were arriving home around 9:30 p.m. when they were greeted by their two kids, who were hysterical about a creature trying to get in. What? Man, the good old days. Like, you could leave your kids home at like 9:30 at night, and no one worries about him. They just came home like, nah, we have to go out. It's date night. Nowadays, you can't leave nobody alone anywhere.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of like the raccoon that shows up to our apartment every once in a
Oh.
while.
Yeah, like every other year, he comes by the window. He almost actually came through the window. He ripped a hole in our screen.
Yeah, it was kind of scary. Then I see that it's a raccoon. I'm like, oh, wish I could have let it in, but yeah.
You know, it's actually funny because they thought it was like a cat, a dog, or a raccoon or something.
Yeah,
And-
typical suspects.
So the guy looks out his window and he's scanning his land, and he sees a three-legged animal, which had big pink eyes like flashlights, grayish skin, short arms, like two little short, like I'm thinking like T-Rex short arms, and it stood 4.5 feet tall. He said he shut the door. He said he slammed the door shut, ran for his gun, and fired 4 times at the creature. He swears the first time his first shot though hit, so he feels like he wounded him at least. So he starts running after it, and it jumps over his field like at 3 jumps, and gets to the railroad, and it just disappears behind the trees. Later, you know, he realizes he needs help. He calls the cops. You know, the cops are coming up here, and they're like, bro, like, what do you do? 3-legged monsters attacking you? Like, we got better things to do than this. So they're going around their property. They see the scratch marks on the wall from the creature trying to get in.
That's fucking crazy.
Like, actual scratch marks, man.
Yeah. But how do they know it wasn't like a kangaroo? Like, kangaroos not exist around here, or like?
Well,
you know what I mean?
there is a theory that what they did see was a kangaroo that was lost from the zoo or whatever.
Because that sounds like it.
Yeah, 3 legs. It could be the last
And
one.
then don't they have like these
they jump.
claws as fingers? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they have like yellowish eyes too. Honestly.
I wonder. You know how like you put a light on a cat or a dog and it looks green or
Yeah, maybe
like
that's
white.
why it looked pink.
Yeah. Like, I really
That's
think
fair.
so. Like, as I was listening to you, like, yeah.
A half an hour before this, though, a little boy claimed that some creature shredded him, his clothes, his shoes, everything. To
But
find out later on that he was just pulling like an old guy's leg. He was pulling a prank on him. He was trying to
Oh
like egg him
my
on.
god. That's a good one. That's a good one. Little asshole.
So that wasn't like even the first time they ever saw that too either. A little while, hold on.
Wait, so there's just like this kangaroo terrorizing this town?
So much so that they had monster hunters coming, and that actually, we'll get there in a second.
Okay.
But like, yeah. So,
I'm like fascinated by this.
May 6th at 3:00 in the morning, he looks out into his yard and he sees the creature again, and he again goes after it, and again goes off into the woods by the railroad.
Yeah, with those 3 feet, he probably a track star.
Yeah, he jumped 3 feet, like 3 times over. And I'm talking about distance. We're not talking about like, oh, it's right around, right there.
Yeah.
We're talking like around the corner type stuff. And it got so bad that everyone was coming and looking, go through the woods, that they had to basically say there is no such thing as this creature. Please stop looking for
Public
it.
service announcement.
Yeah, I think someone almost got shot because they thought it was the creature.
Yeah. That sounds like something that would happen. Because everybody's panicked. That happened to Orange is the New Black. One of them like shot a kid because they thought it was a deer trying to eat their weed.
Did they smoke that weed? That's not how weed works.
No, that apparently deers love weed, and so she was upset that the deer was eating her, her fucking weed, like the stuff that she was selling and growing and selling, and ended up, murdering a kid.
So on this case, because I feel like this could be like one of those things we did on Good Morning Earth, like Today I Learned, and this is what we learned about today. So maybe we could go over it. Do you think that this was a creature that tried to get at them? Do you think it was a kangaroo, or do you think it was an alien? Because that's my other theory. Is like it's just because it was grayish. It was 4.5 feet tall. Maybe it was like a mutated alien. That's why it had like 3 legs.
Everybody's got alien on their minds now.
Oh, I love aliens. They're out there.
No, but everything's an alien now. Like I read a story that these town thought that there was an alien. They spotted an alien on Google Street View, and it wasn't. It was like a statue, and I was like, wait, what? Like, because I like those Street View stuff. I like to see what people see when they're like, searching through Google Street View, like what the camera picked up while they were taking photos, or like people's Ring cameras,
So
videos. I love that stuff.
You think it was a ghost?
No. So I mean, I thought maybe like I don't know. I think for it to come up on a Google Street camera, it had to have been there for a little bit. Like you can't just be flying. Well, no, that's not true.
Yeah, they drive right by.
I didn't know what I was gonna see, but when I looked it up, it was like this statue with like these long floppy arms, and it looks like it's running.
Yeah, you showed me.
It looks like it's running like almost Naruto style with well, not really because the arms are weird, but yeah, like it was a statue that was really weird and bugged out and kind of scary, and it looked naked, and it's supposed to be like this like modern day scarecrow kind of thing.
So, do you think there are creatures out there in the Midwest? Because for anybody who hasn't checked out Cross Discussions, check out the one with Jerry Cook.
Yeah.
He's an author. He has a couple books out. He actually talks about a creature. I mean, he's going to tell it way better than I am. But basically, a half wolf man, half man thing came out the woods and chased him down. If you want to hear his recollection of this, check that out. We actually talk about a lot of good stuff in that episode. We also talk about California falling into the ocean, and it's not why you think it is.
Right.
And it's just a cool theory.
That was a good episode.
Check it out. But what about you? Like, are you saying like there's a lot of these creatures? Do you think that these creatures are real?
I feel like they could be real. They're just not going to show themselves to us.
Like they're smart enough to like stay hidden.
Yeah, like I really think that they know that we won't be able to handle it.
Like I feel like that's an easy cop out, but when you really think about it, like certain animals can smell.
Yeah, my animals saw
miles.
something weird, they would start barking and bugging out.
So if
I
it has
don't
a good sense
see-
of smell, it knows you're coming. It's not going to
Yeah.
even come out to you because they sees how maybe in past, like they had like intermingling with humans and it never turned out good.
Yeah.
So they're just like, you don't want me to
Or
stay
like
away.
maybe other animals are attacking it. Like, like birds or something. Like I think that there's some things preventing them from getting close to us. And
Do you think it's intelligence or do you think it's like a survival? Like,
on some survival shit.
Yeah, because there's a lot of
Yeah.
creatures that learn to trust humans, and then there's other creatures that will just like, nope.
I just think that like before we started doing this podcast, I never really thought about it. Like I was like, oh yeah, aliens have to be real because like the universe is giant. But then like learning more and more, I'm like, they really could be among us. And like it's like so bugged out to really be like, yo, one day I might see an alien. I might be out really late and encounter an alien.
Well, yeah, 4.5 feet too is the size I would think about a kangaroo would stand.
yeah.
Anywhere from 4.5 feet to 5, 6. Well, actually, they're a little taller, so it could have been a baby. But why was it scratching at the door, like the wooden door? Because the side of the house is made out of wood. Why scratch up the wall? Like, what are you doing?
There must have been like food or some type of like warmth.
Yeah,
or
the kids
something.
inside. Like, let me eat those.
Yeah.
But if it was a kangaroo, it wouldn't do that.
It could have been like rabies, like a rabied out.
And then you got to think, well, maybe the guy was, maybe he was out all night. He was drunk. Maybe they did, maybe they got high. It's a small town.
These little kids getting high while their parents
No,
are
the
gone.
parents are getting out, getting drunk and high. So when they come home, the kids just saw a regular animal, like a raccoon or something. And in his drunken high stupor, he's like, he sees this 3-foot thing.
I don't know.
But then what made the scratch on the wall?
I think it was a kangaroo.
Why would a kangaroo scratch a wall, though?
Because
wants to get
they're
in.
known to be aggressive. I don't know.
Yeah, they are. Like, I've seen, have you seen the guy punch a kangaroo in the face?
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
But what
Out
if
of
like the
context,
kids?
it's
What if the
hilarious.
kids were fucking with the kangaroo and it got
No,
all
not this
amped
one. Not
up?
the one with not the one with the one I saw where he punched him.
No, I'm talking about.
The kangaroo grabbed some guy's dog
Yeah,
and
I'm
wouldn't let
talking
it
about
go.
what happened in Enfield.
Oh, Enfield, the Enfield monster. It's also called the Enfield. I forget. Go ahead.
What if the kids was agitating the kangaroo and then was trying to be like, "Dad, it's trying to eat us," and then the whole time they were throwing rocks and little laser pointers at him.
Or maybe the kids did it because they were goofing around. Maybe they were like playing with
Yeah,
stuff
like
they weren't
a
supposed
prank that the whole neighborhood kids wanted to do. They'd
Well-
be getting bored. There was probably no TV. Like, I don't
to
know.
be fair, like they said a half an hour before some kid was. But see, this is what I don't get. He said that the story says that some kid says a half an hour before he was attacked that wound up being a joke to play on the guy.
Yeah.
But if it was a half an hour before it happened, how would he even know to make that joke?
Because he could just say, like, "Oh, yeah, half hour ago this happened to me."
But the story I read was that the police were aware of a case a half an hour ago about a kid getting mauled by something. So maybe it started off as a
It
thing.
could have been just two different things and the police
Or-
put it together.
Or conspiracy theory. The kids were just really bored. And they came up with this thing, and they're going to tell the parents that, oh, there's a creature outside, and they scratched up a spot. And, maybe he just saw something in the shadows that, when you see shadows, sometimes your mind just makes you see things. So it could have been just like a whole, what is it the word? Like,
Hoax?
A hoax, yeah, like a prank. To get
a
get
prank
over
that we're
everybody.
talking about like 50 years later.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Fucking little kids.
But then you also have to wonder that small percentage chance that it's real. And that's one of the things I love about this podcast is that we look into so many cool, interesting, weird, fun, wonderful things
Yeah.
that even if 1% of them turns out to be true, the world has magic again.
Yeah.
And, it makes me, believe in things better. And that's why I think I started this, because I was a little lost. Oh, I hope that came up. I'm leaving it in. Oh.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm going to check. One of the reasons why I did do this is because I was lost in like a spiritual belief. And like I said, if only 1% of this is true, it opens so many doors of what could be possible out there that, we don't even really know what's going out there. Oh shit, babe, step on it.
Oh, nah. I'm pulling over.
What?
Saying.
Oh, thank God. Anyway, as we're going, I just want to show if we're not caught, you can find us on What Keeps Me Up SI.
Yeah. Yep.
We can find you on where?
Blue Sky on Facebook.
That's BLU, no
Yeah.
E, BLU Sky.
Yeah, someone else made my page, so.
I like it because it makes you unique. Like the cigarette company, the little e-cigarettes.
Oh,
just like
shit.
that.
They're getting close. Fuck.
And as always,
Check on your friends.
and everyone deserves love, even you.
This was a WKMU production, signing off.
This concludes our broadcast day. Good night, and God bless America.